Yeah, that's not how that's supposed to work. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Satisfactory playthrough series episode. As you can see, we finally set up a Hyperloop ladder system to get in between the floors in our assembly center. We took down all the original ladders. Now we just have a Hyperloop between every single level, as well as just one long one that goes all the way from the ground floor to the top floor. It's not exactly working how it's supposed to right now because we have two entrances kind of facing each other. We're gonna have to fix that. But in the last episode, we finally finished setting up these frames over here. This is a brand new building. If you missed that episode, go check it out in the playlist in the description, as well as in the card above this video, along with any other episode you've missed. The frames are now done. What we need to do this episode is get the rotors set up. So the rotors are the only thing that we're missing from our factory now. We had just one, maybe two assemblers. I think we had two assemblers making rotors before, and that was being fed in through that belt down there, which is now connected to nothing. Today we're gonna add the rotors as a fourth floor to our iron factory over there. That's the last iron product we need. Everything else will be some kind of mixed item. Rotors are just rods and screws, so that's purely iron. And surprisingly, since we got the alt recipe for screws, we're able to make them directly from ingots, so we're not actually producing any rods at our iron factory right now. So that needs to change. We'll set that up, and then down the line we'll set up the rotors. After we get that done, the other thing I want to do is go look for a silica mine, or quartz actually. And I think the closest one is probably 1,500 meters away, something like that. It's pretty far. You can see how long it takes to ping it. We're gonna have to go out, and I remember seeing it before. I think it's somewhere in that direction. Yeah, there it is. It's way out there. Hopefully we can bring a bunch back. We do need to set up a miner for it, but maybe in this episode we'll just go collect as much as we can, because I want to make the map. So we need to unlock the map in the MAM. So that's the other thing I want to get done today. So I hope you guys will stick around for that. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe if you're new here. Check out the playlist in the description for the full series, and let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to hop over to our iron mine and get those rods going. You can see I set up a Hyperloop system here too, but I wanted one loop that goes all the way to the top. I haven't set that up because we've ran out of motors. So we've got plenty of screws on the bottom floor. We actually need to start producing rods. Now, just to make things as versatile and flexible as possible, we're going to do rods. Even though we're not going to need a whole lot of them, we're going to do rods on their own floor. And then we'll hook up, of course, directly from the ingot source down here up onto the fourth floor. And then rotors will then be the fifth floor. DJ, drop that beat. You know what this calls for? Some blade runners. Okay, I totally forgot I switched to Blade Runners and I didn't have my jetpack there. Oh boy. What a space case, am I right, folks? Huzzah! We did it! We finally did it. We've literally been laying concrete down the entire day. Look at that, the sun's going down. We got... Oh no! Oh, that was close. Forgot to put my jetpack on. I ended up just doing both floors in one go because listen, I love laying down concrete as much as any hardworking American, but I'm kind of glad that it's over, you know? We got both floors out of the way, and now we can just focus on building, which is what this game is really about, right? Laying down the factories, the machines. First, we're gonna see how many rods per minute we actually need. So we're gonna get up onto the top floor and lay down some assemblers for the rotors, and we'll do the math backwards. I'm so good at it, you know. So let's see, we need 20 rods per minute to make 4 rotors per minute. Now let's see how many rotors we're using per minute in our factory right now. Okay, so we're using 2 per minute per assembler, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12. So we only need 12 rotors per minute. Now let's see what that translates to. Can't wait to get the hyper loops up to these floors. This looks kind of cool. Just a big empty building. We could charge a lot of rent for this space. So it looks like we only really need 3. But, you know, we'll set up 4 just because. That way we're a little future-proofed. Okay, so now that we've laid these down, so we're gonna have 4. That's gonna require 80 rods per minute. So now we can go see how many assemblers we need for that, or constructors rather. Is it constructors? Yeah. So this is 15 iron ingots to 15 iron rods. What was that other recipe? 12 steel ingots to 48 iron rods. Holy crap, that's efficient. I totally forgot we had this alt recipe. I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. Okay, yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. I think I need to use this alt recipe because we get so many more rods per minute for only a fourth of the ingots. So I guess we're going to be adding another floor here to our steel factory. We're going to dismantle this crap since it's an old relic of a system that once was. And then we'll add a second floor here. Yeah, I totally forgot that we had that alt recipe. Alright, so we have an excess of beams right now. We have a ton of beams. We're not even really producing anymore right now. You can see the whole beam line down there is idle. The buffer's completely full, and we're still pulling from a previous box that we had. So we had a ton of supply that we saved up before. So we'll hook it back up as soon as that box is depleted. For the rods, we're gonna tap into this truck station over here that's feeding into the beams, and I just put a splitter right at the truck station and I brought this lift up. We're only going to set up 4 constructors since, again, we only need 80 for the rotors that we're producing, and we're not using rods for anything else. So this is going to give us a nice excess, basically double the rods that we need. So I'm just going to hook them up all to power and get the belts fed in. Alright, so we've got our rods online now. We have, again, the steel alternate recipe that's giving us a 4-to-1 ratio from steel ingots to iron rods, and we're producing 48 per minute, which is a much better recipe than the one we had going from iron ingots. So I set up a buffer, and now I'm just going to route the line all the way to our iron factory. Okay, so we've got the rods routed to the new building now. I just ended up using that same line that we used for the iron ingots from this small mine over here. So now they're coming up through this lift to the 4th floor. And yes, we did build an extra floor. We laid down that extra concrete for no reason, since we didn't need this floor for making rods. But you know what? I love laying down concrete, okay? So we are going to move our rotor operation down a floor. We're going to bring those assemblers down here and build it out on the 4th floor. Alright, so we got the rods hooked up now. Rods are coming in on a level 2, and those are going to be split on the first level of these splitters. It's just a 2-2 split between the 4 assemblers, and then on the second floor we're going to have the screws coming in, and I can see this thing's a little cockeyed. I don't like it. Gotta fix that. Much better, much better. Nice and clean. So this side's good. Now we just need to bring the screws up. Alright, we've got our screws. And I think that was the last input or output to our screw buffer. So if we're gonna need more screws, we're gonna have to design a better buffer here. We didn't give ourselves a whole lot of room, but since we are on an upper floor, we can definitely expand out that way. It's just gonna be a pain with these lifts here. I guess not too bad, we only have one lift. But yeah, we'll have to think about redesigning that buffer. But for now, the last thing we need to do is just hook this thing up to power. And then we will have rotors. So now we have our rotors being produced, fed into this buffer, kind of made it like wind. So we have 3 boxes that are all hooked up linearly, and then the output is here. And we can make this a pretty big buffer. We expanded the floor space here by 1 tile because it's my birthday and I cry if I want to, you know. Oh, I'm not gonna go mine the quartz in this episode because it did run kind of long. I forgot that we had the alt recipe for the steel rods, so we had to go build that out, and we built an extra floor for nothing, so that's cool. We're just gonna hook this up so that we can feed our rotors into the assembly super center and call it a day. Nice, nice. Here come the rotors. Very, very nice. We got the goodies to the yard with our milkshakes, and they're like, it's better than yours, if you get what I mean. So we've got our rotors finally feeding into the assembly super center. The rotor line has been restored, and we have room for expansion. We can make a whole lot more rotors. The one thing we have to be careful with is the screw capacity, because our screw throughput, I don't know how much extra we had, but now we're pulling 4 level 4 belts from this buffer, so I don't know if our screw supply is gonna hold up. Actually, I mean, it already looks like it's depleting, so we are gonna have to be careful here. We might have to do some overclocking or just add some more constructors, and hopefully we have enough ingots to support it. What we need to do is go update our tracking sheet where we're doing all the math for this, and just make sure that we can support it. I think on the ingot side we're still good. You can see how the lines stop every now and then, so we're not using as many ingots as we're producing right now. So we can definitely add more constructors to the screw line as it stands. And yeah, that's gonna do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.